Hey there, what's up, good people? Thank you so much for joining me. I am your girl, Denise Joy, designer and creator of the Furaha Method, a creative, holistic process that I use to help my clients create a joyful, custom on a budget space that is a meaningful mashup of physical beauty, functionality, and it enhances their overall wellness. And by the way, Furaha means joyful in Swahili. So tonight we are getting together because it is the grand finale, the reveal, the virtual party, the celebration of our room makeover challenge, which we've all been doing for the past 10 days. Before we get into the good stuff, no fluff for tonight, make sure if you have not already subscribed, hit the subscribe button. That would mean a lot to me. I really appreciate it. Also, hit the like button, thumbs up, give it that thumbs up nod, and share this video. Send it out. Post it on Twitter, Facebook, wherever you hang out and your tribe hangs out. That would also mean a lot to me. I am so excited to be here with you guys. It has been so much fun doing this room makeover challenge. This is the 2021 Custom on a Budget Room Makeover Challenge. Now, why on earth would I put something like this together? Because you know what? DIY Geeksters for life, right? We need our DIY projects. And I really am all about custom on a budget at really various levels. I mean, I've told my story before. You may have heard me share it on a podcast or either just right here on my channel. I really grew up where we moved so much. I literally lived in 13 different homes from the time I was born until I was 17. And that meant that I got used to putting things together, building a space, taking it down. I didn't know how long I was going to live somewhere. So I know what it means for you to put something together with almost nothing and make it feel really special. Because when our spaces feel special, we feel good. We feel good. It can lift our spirits, right? It's like when you walk into a room and you know that your space is usually a certain way, and the vibe is off, and you just don't feel right. And so we want our spaces to support us and to uplift us. So I figured it's going to be spring around the corner. Usually folks get into doing spring cleaning. So why not do a room makeover challenge? But here's the catch. You didn't have to do a whole room. You could have done a junk drawer. Just straightened out a junk drawer. You could have reorganized your closet. You could have done a bunch of small projects, or what I call, you want to get things off of the, oh, that's good enough list. I know it can't just be me that has a, oh, that's good enough list, where you start something, there's a lot more energy or time that needs to go into it, but in your mind you say, or you might even say it out loud, oh, that's good enough. And then you let that thing sit there like that, knowing good and well that it's not good enough, but it'll do for now. And I know I'm also not alone that sometimes you put something on the, oh, that's good enough list, and that thing stays on there for a year, and then 2 years, then dare I say 5 years. That, oh, that's good enough list is such an energy drain. Ask me how I know, because I have had and will have into the future. We as humans, we perpetually create these, oh, that's good enough lists, and knowing good and well that list, that item is still like tapping you on the shoulder, hitting you in the back of the head saying, hey, you didn't really finish me. Hey, you gave me like short shrift. Hey, you didn't really invest that time. you know what I'm saying, right? So let me know in the chat, where are you joining me from? I love to find out where my subscribers are joining. If you are watching this on the replay, drop your state in the chat. I'd love to shout you out. If you have any questions, drop those in the chat as well. I respond to every question. I have a video about Tulip Sure Shot fabric paint, which is a superb product. They are not paying me. This is not a sponsored post. They're not paying me to say this, but it has the best saturation. If you are looking to upgrade some outdoor cushions, they have both outdoor and indoor. It has the best saturation. I did a fabric poof, spray painted it with, it's still gorgeous. The saturation is still so high. So anyway, I had someone put a comment on there and they were so shocked. They asked me how had it gone, because it was about a year later. And they asked me had it faded. And so I was replying, and they were like, "Oh my God, you replied." And I'm like, "Well, you don't ask a question you don't want the answer to. So drop the question there. I love pretty much everything about design, but I really, really do love mixing colors, helping people learn how to create a strong color story and a color platform, a color nuance in a space, and then how to mix patterns. That tends to be the two areas that I find people are the most apprehensive about. So if you have any questions about that, I promise to do my best to help you out. Now, I had asked folks as they finished their projects to send me some photos. I know a couple of people who were working. I'm not going to shout out any names, but I know one of my followers was working on a dining room project. Someone else was working on a closet, home office. So, oh, excuse me, went down the wrong pipe. So you can still send me your photos, and I will shout you out. I'll even reply to, if you're on my list and you're getting the emails for this, shoot me your pictures if you want some feedback or just some ideas. I also love to brainstorm and bounce ideas around. So what did you do? What did you undertake? Or if you're watching the replay and you didn't do the challenge, you can still do your own. Set it up for yourself. This one was 10 days, but you could just do your own and do like a 5-day or even a 3-day and say, this is my timeline. Excuse me, I'm going to do X project, and then set those boundaries for yourself. When you time bound something, that means, have a start date and an end date and put it on your calendar and commit and have the discipline to get it done. You are more apt to get it done. Like the old saying is, you can't hit a target you don't set. So by putting that goal on your calendar, I'm going to start on this day and I'm going to end on X day, you're more likely to get it done. I'm also going to share 3 tips and a bonus with you all if you are struggling with getting your project started or staying the course and getting them to completion. I'm also going to share some of my favorite books that I'm currently reading in case you just want to up-level your knowledge and your decorating skill set so you can keep doing your own DIY projects, getting inspiration from the projects that I'm undertaking here on my channel. And so let me know what project you might do for yourself as you create your own room makeover challenge. And remember, I call it room makeover so that it just encompasses a whole space, but it could be something as small, but yet as important as cleaning out the junk drawer. So drop in the chat, let me know, or the comment section if you're watching this replay, let me know what it is that you are going to commit to doing, because that DIY life, listen, everything can't be DIY'd, but most things can. And you can learn to do high quality DIY projects on your own. You can watch things on my channel, watch other channels, improve your skill set. If you want to learn how to work with tools, they're at the big box stores like Lowe's and Home Depot. They are now having those classes again where you can go and get those trainings so that you can feel, like a badass, right? That you are. And you can work those tools, drills, saws, and the whole nine and make that. Yes, make some dope. All right, so here are 3 tips to get stuff done, or I would like to say get ish done. Get ish done, okay? Number 1, I have a saying, treat yourself better than company. Right? Like when company's coming over, most people, oh my gosh, company, company's coming. And so we get everything kind of pseudo set up or pseudo more together. Treat yourself like that. Make a commitment to treat yourself like your company. Like you want to keep things straight, organized, accessible, because you have value to yourself. Treat yourself better than company. I remember a couple of years ago, I did a redesign for a client. She was going to sell her condo, but she wanted it redesigned first. And about halfway through the project, she walked into the space. It wasn't even finished, it was halfway through. And we had just the flooring, the new flooring was going in, and she was she was really moved. She said, I should have done this years ago so that I could have lived in this space longer and enjoyed this space. And she did live in it for a couple of more months. So she got to enjoy it. She even had a party because the place was so fly. I mean, it was just a total lituation. Yes, a lituation, not a situation, a lituation. It was just lit. It was fly. She had a party because she had forgotten to treat herself better than company. So that's tip number one. Commit to treating yourself better than company. Number two, start small. If the project just feels really, really big, it's like, oh my God, what am I going to do? You want to do a couple of things. You want to plan it out. Just get a little note card like this right here, my little note card. Write it out, turn it long ways if you need a lot of information, but try not to do more than a note card, but plan it out. Basically make steps, step 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's going to give you what? Instructions. You're writing directions for yourself. You say, oh, I got to do XYZ task. Oh, here are my little instructions I made. So I'm going to do this, 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 and this. It'll make you feel more confident and it'll make you feel doable because you've chunked it down. You've chunked it down into doable portions. You're breaking it down. All right. Tip number 3. I call this the 20/5 rule. Excuse me. 20/5 rule. 20 minutes a day for 5 days in a row. 20 minutes a day for 5 days in a row. So let's say you have a really unruly, your closet is just totally disorganized. 20 minutes a day for 5 days in a row. But for those 20 minutes, you're going to set a specific goal of what you're going to do in those 20 minutes. So if your shoes are all just thrown in a pile, I've seen this before. I do my fair share of organizing. You're going to commit to, in those 20 minutes, you're going to get all of the shoes separated out so that they're all in pairs. 20 minutes a day, 5 days in a row. Now, on the weekend, you're going to switch it up because normally we have a little more time on the weekend. So on the weekend, instead of 20 minutes, you're going to do an entire hour on both days. And you're going to keep that pattern until it's done. Until it's done. Until it's done, right? 20 minutes a day for 5 days a week. And then on the weekend, 1 hour a day. Then you don't end up feeling typically so overwhelmed, right? Because when you have a big home improvement task, whether it's cleaning a closet or building a bathroom, it can feel like it's never going to get done. It's just too much. Why start the project? But this is about tips to help you get ish done. All right. Tip number 4, ask for some help. Yes. Ask for some help. You don't always have to go it alone when you're doing a DIY project. You do not have to just be just trying to push through, grind. I am famous for asking for help, and I should actually ask for help more often, but I do ask for help every now and again, even though all my videos, actually, I am working alone, but also this is COVID. So I have been, very specific about my pandemic protocols, but I have a neighbor across the street, handiest guy on the planet. He's also a construction worker. And I also often ask him for help for projects. When I bought the home that I'm living in now, which is my 3rd home, and I'm very proud of that, being someone who thought I would never own a home, much less get into a business helping people have totally dope spaces. So when I was painting this home, which I painted all the inside walls myself, except the upstairs den area, one of my sorority sisters came, Vicky, and we had the best time painting together, talking, bonding. So ask for some help. You do not have to go it alone. And I believe that if you implement at least one of those tips, you will get your project off of the wish list and on the I got it done list. The I got it done list makes you feel like, I'm not going to clap these real loud because they're so loud, but these are my celebration stars. Thank you, everybody, for going along on this journey for the Room Makeover Challenge. The custom on the budget is the way to go. I'm shaking them really hard. I just don't want to make a lot of noise for the sound. In celebration of what you've done. Now, before I tell you what projects I did over the 10 days, I want to remind you about the masterclass videos that I taught on the first 3 days when we launched this way back on March the 15th. The very first video, which you can go back and watch the replay, is about how to design a tray. I actually should have brought a tray out here. I don't even have one nearby. But at any rate, I gave so many tips and hacks in that particular video. And I also talked about design components that, you might want to learn these if you really are going to continue to go down the DIY route and really up-level the decor in your own home and your space. It's good to understand the design components or the principles of design that are actually working inside of an environment and in a space that make it look so dope and fly. In video number 2, I taught y'all how to make your pillows pop like a pro. I sure did. So you want to watch that video. I talked about mixing patterns and mixing colors and mixing textures, and again, implementing those design principles in how you set up pillows. I do have a pillow set up here, and this one is really quick. There's a dark blue mud cloth pillow on the back. There's a white pillow here in the middle with a small pattern of black. And then there's this lush velvet orange pillow. And what's fun about this, just real quick, is the orange and the blue are complementary colors on the color wheel, and they will always look good together. But because both of these, the orange and the blue, have high saturation, you put white in between those two colors because it breaks the eye up and it makes the eye receive both of these strong colors equally because the white tones each one down. Real quick, dropping those gems for you. In the third and final video, I taught you all 2 things in that video. Number 1, how to use fabric and frame it and use it as art. And then I also taught the shower curtain hack, that shower curtain hack that's just trending everywhere. I mean, it's really everywhere. How to take an oversized fabric shower curtain and put it on a wood frame, a canvas frame. I even gave some tips on how to get really, custom on a budget, cheap and expensive frames. Taught that in that video as well. So you can watch those replays and you can get all of that awesome information so you can be a dope-nificent decorator on your own. I also want to share with you all, before I share what I completed on my makeover, I talked about this book in the How to Make Your Pillows Pop masterclass. This is a fabulous book by Rebecca Atwood, Living with Pattern. It is an awesome text. I highly recommend it. If you just want to be more dope-nificent, straight up, no chaser. I love patterns so much. I'm going to talk about it a little bit when I tell the projects that I did here. And then a second book on patterns, The Power of Pattern, Interiors and Inspiration, a Resource Guide. Another yummy book. The patterns in here are so glorious. They're just quite breathtaking. And just it talks about the different kinds of fabrics and the history behind some of the fabrics and patternings, and where you use fabric. And you can even put fabric on your walls if you want to go that route, right? You can do a total custom look and put fabric on your walls, and you can put fabric on tops of tables. You can put it on furniture. Fabric and patterns aren't just limited to pillows or to our furniture pieces like our chairs and our sofas. And then the last one here is, again, one of my total specialties is Living with Color. This is also by Rebecca Atwood, Inspiration and How-Tos to Brighten Up Your Home. This is more heavy into color theory, but still, I think it's something that even a beginner, you could get a lot of value out of. When I was in high school, I really got more heavily into visual art, and I was a child who drew a lot. I think I wanted to have friends who wouldn't, who would always be with me because I moved so much. I was always leaving my school. And so I became a visual artist, and I paint unique pieces. I paint on fabric. Most of the time I'm painting large scale pieces, acrylic paint on fabric, and I usually use mud cloth as my canvas. And I have some actually DIY artwork videos if you want to check those out and see how you might create your own similar kind of piece. All right, we're going to wrap this up tonight. Again, thank you so much for joining me. If you haven't liked this video, go ahead and like it and subscribe if you are just new to my community, and share this with your friends. So I wrote a list so I wouldn't forget what I had done over the 10 days. I did a couple of, I call these smalls. You see, I have my own inner lingo here. So here's one thing that I did that was on my that's good enough list. I added window privacy film to 2 windows that I have been wanting to do for 2 years. I didn't say 2 weeks or 2 months. 2 years. I knew that I wanted to put some window privacy film in my bathroom and one of my bedroom windows at the top, because my neighbor is a little close and I wanted to have more light. But if I took my shade all the way up, the person could see in. I have been, it crossed my mind. Oh, it's not, any excuse that I could think of. Don't ask me why, but right? We're right here. You've done the same thing. So I am not alone. I got it done, y'all. Woo! That's because I want to make a lot of noise. Come on, cheer for yourself too. Get your own rock star clapper out. So I did that. I did some basic spring purging, cleaned out some closets. I do that pretty regularly, so I didn't have a ton to do. That's kind of a bonus tip. Do those types of things regularly. Put it on your calendar once a quarter to just look at everything, because last thing you want to do is let it build up. Then I took some I had these 2 gorgeous chairs that I got at one of my local thrift stores. They are so totally dope. They're mid-century modern. The fabric on them was a vinyl, kind of a pleather vinyl. It was very old. So I went to my favorite store that I use here whenever I'm working with custom fabrics for a client and for myself, Will's Decorating. And when I tell you, the fabric is to die for. It's so gorgeous. It's breathtaking. And I'm doing this sort of complementary pattern on the front facing of the seat and the front part of the backrest. And on the back of the backrest, I'm doing a totally different fabric. So I'm mixing patterns there. I cannot wait to share those finished product with you all once they come back from the reupholster. So I got that project started, paid for, and they're at the reupholster. So I'm super excited. And this adds to one other of my almost done's is my dining room. The dining room has a little bit of a bar, and I had bar stools on there. And for about 3 years, I'd been wanting to get those bar stools reupholstered, or just to change the upholstery. So since I was already taking these mid-century modern chairs, you got it. I took those 2 bar stools, picked out this totally gorgeous the dining room has a muted tone, monochromatic, basically a monochromatic color scheme in muted tones. And so I took those, and those will be coming back, and I'll share those on my channel. So you'll be on the lookout for that project. And then last but not least, I finished painting the ceiling here in my YouTube studio. So this is I have an unfinished basement. This studio was a corner, just plain. I had a sewing machine against the wall, and I just used to do sewing projects over there, and it just had storage. And then one day I said, you know what? I want a totally dope YouTube studio. So I'm going to build a studio. So I stenciled that wall over there, painted the wall over there, put all this furniture, which all of it I made that sign. Yeah, I made that. Painted I had some extra orange paint, bought those letters from a Michaels, bam. I bought that bookcase, almost everything on there except for that love sign I didn't have, but everything else I already had. I had these pillows, really, I had this table, everything. I painted these pictures years ago. So I pulled this studio together, but again, it's unfinished. So the ceiling was the joist, the ceiling, the floor joist, and it was brown and used to bother me. You can kind of see it just right up there. So that was really my main get her done project, and I love it. I mean, it just gives it kind of that industrial vibe because it's an unfinished rafter ceiling, but it feels like. Let me know what you think. Do you think it looks as good as I think that it looks? Because I think it looks totally dope. Well, that wraps up the reveal party. Let me give you That's me going, yes, yes, yes. Way to rock it out. Way to get it done. Way to get your projects off of the wish list and onto the get her done list. And remember, always treat yourself better than company. I have to remind myself of that too. I do too. It's not just you. It's me as well. Forgetting that I am as important as company and then some. Thank you so much for joining me. I can't wait to see you in the next video. Thank you so much.